Well, this beautiful plant that you see is known as fennel, and fennel can be a kind of confusing crop because it's grown as both an herb and a vegetable. Well, appropriately enough, in our herb garden, we have the herb fennel, and basically the herb and the vegetable are two distinct plants. The Latin name for this fennel is Foeniculum vulgare, and as you'll notice here, we have this nice ferny foliage, and if you look down here at the bottom, you'll notice that the stalks aren't bulbing. Now keep this in mind because this is what distinguishes this plant from our vegetable plant. The herb fennel is grown mainly for this ferny foliage. It's also known as common fennel, and it comes in both the green varieties and also what you know as bronze fennel, or that nice bronzy variety, which is both a beautiful addition to your landscape. It's also a good plant to have in the butterfly garden, and these are a good plant to grow for herb seasonings. Now the part of the fennel that we use on this plant is the leaves. You can just pick the leaves off, and then you would chop these up and use them to flavor rice dishes or meats or stews or something like that. But we're using this ferny leaf. Now this actually has, if you smell it, a licorice smell, and that's the flavor that we get. It's a very anise flavoring, and we use this just to season things. Now our other fennel, which we're growing in our Vegetables Around the World garden, is actually harvested for the bulb underneath, and let's go take a look at it. Well, you'll notice that this plant looks somewhat similar to our herb, but just a little bit different. And the main difference is when you look down here at the base of the plant, you'll notice that there's a large swollen bulb-like area here. Now this isn't really a bulb, it's just a swollen leaf base, but that is what we grow the vegetable fennel for. Now, while the herb is actually grown as a perennial, the vegetable we grow as an annual. So we'll harvest this and then we'll have to plant again next season. Now we've got the same ferny foliage, and we also have the same kind of anise smell and flavor. However, the anise smell and flavor for this is not quite so strong as it is for the herb. Now to harvest this, all we need to do is when the bulb reaches 2 inches wide or larger than that, we just take and we cut this right at ground level. We'll just cut this bulb off, and then we'll take that in. Now it has a very nice smell to it right now. Now fennel is ready about 15 weeks after you sow it, and this actual variety or cultivar is a very good variety to plant in the spring because it resists bolting. Now, this cultivar is called Ziffa Fino, and it resists bolting very well. Now if you didn't get fennel planted in your garden this spring, you can plant it for a fall crop. Like I said, it takes about 15 weeks. So here in the middle of July or so, you can actually direct seed this into your garden, and then when the plants come up, you can thin them to about 12 inches apart, and they should be ready sometime before the first frost. Well, I'm going to go ahead and harvest this fennel, and Barbara Brown is going to show us how to cook it.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. You can also find more recent videos on our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.